Hey there, health lovers. Welcome to The Scoop, where we serve you straight nutrition talk, one scoop at a time. I'm Rachel. I'm a dietitian. I'm a wife. I'm a mom of 2 busy boys, and I am a big fan of making small, healthy changes that can lead to big results. So grab your coffee, your water bottle, or even your afternoon snack and settle in. We're about to dive into today's scoop. And trust me, these simple tips are going to make healthy living feel a whole lot easier. Let's get started. Any and all opinions and views shared by hosts and guests on this podcast are the speaker's own and do not represent the views of Live It Up or its affiliates or parent company. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Scoop, serving you straight nutrition talk, one scoop at a time. I am Rachel. I'm a dietitian and a nutrition expert. And today I'll be your game show host. We're playing fact or fiction. So there are just too many nutrition myths for me to touch on them all. So this is just the first installment of what I'm sure will be many nutrition debunking sessions together. So let's just jump right in, shall we? All right, fact or fiction, fruit is bad for you. Fiction. Fruit is not bad for you. Fruit has fiber and antioxidants and vitamins and minerals, and they are essential for our health. Now, some people will say, but Rachel, fruit is bad because of its sugar content. But this is natural sugar that comes packaged with lots of benefits. Yes, we do want to have less fruit than vegetables overall in our day, but cutting it out completely is not needed. But you know what kinds of sugar you do need to cut out? Yeah, work on that first. Others will say, Rachel, it's the fructose. It's the fructose levels in fruit that's bad. And if you don't know the backstory here, it's that the liver has trouble handling too much fructose and will package it up as excess fat. But do you know how much fructose you need to have to make that happen? 255 grams. Do you know how many apples that is? 25. Are you going to eat 25 apples in a day? No, you're not. You know where you might be getting too much fructose? All those processed foods and beverages that contain high fructose corn syrup. Again, look at your total diet. Don't blame the fruit. Fruit never did anything to you. Fact or fiction, liver cleanses and other detoxes are safe and make you shed toxins and help you lose weight. Fiction, there is no clinical data to support the efficacy of these cleanses. Detoxes are not regulated, my people. Many have ingredients that can be harmful rather than beneficial. And the reason you're losing weight is because of how few calories you're taking in, not from the product itself, unless the product contains banned or discouraged weight loss supplements, and then you probably shouldn't be taking it. Your liver naturally clears your body of toxins. Is there anything you can do to actually help support liver function? Yes, you can actually eat more cruciferous vegetables, things like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale. All of these contain phytonutrients that actually help support the liver's natural detoxification pathways and may even help fight fatty liver disease, according to some research. You know the other thing you can do? Drink less alcohol, which is a proven toxin and damages the liver. But we'll talk more about alcohol another time because that is the big topic. Fact or fiction, red wine is good for you. Fiction, all alcohol is classified as a group 1 carcinogen, just like asbestos, tobacco, arsenic, and processed meats. Even just 1 glass of red wine per day can increase your risk for certain chronic diseases, the same amount as if you were smoking 10 cigarettes per week. A lot of studies came out saying red wine has antioxidants in it. The studies showing that there were benefits were actually really poorly done, and they aren't entirely convincing if you look at them in their entirety. Alcohol actually speeds up the aging process. It exacerbates mental health issues. It causes sleep disturbances, and it shrinks our brain. Now, of course, drinking is a personal preference, just like it is your choice as a human to eat whatever the heck kind of foods you want to eat, to drink or to drive without your seatbelt on, to decide to go to sleep at whatever time you want. You are human and you are allowed to make your own decisions. So please feel free to drink if that is your choice. Just don't choose to drink red wine for any purported benefits. Okay, fact or fiction, you can't be healthy and overweight. This is a fact. This one's a little complicated. But ultimately, being overweight is a chronic disease that increases your risk for type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, a lot of other health conditions. This is because extra fat, especially around the waist, can lead to fatty materials building up in your arteries. This fat that builds up around your organs can disrupt your hormone balance, and ultimately it can increase inflammation and affect your metabolic processes. Now, there is something called metabolically healthy obesity, and this is when someone is overweight but doesn't have any other chronic diseases, and they are metabolically healthy. Now, there are studies that have found that people who are metabolically healthy but overweight still have a higher risk of developing other chronic diseases much sooner than someone who is not overweight. So being overweight, it still carries a greater health risk. Fact or fiction? When you wake up and your weight is up after a big meal, or when you gain weight over one day, it's all fat. You did such a bad job at your diet. This is fiction. Anytime you gain a few pounds overnight or through the day, this is not fat. This is water weight. To gain 3 pounds of fat, you would have to eat over 10,000 calories. Pretty sure you didn't eat 10,000 calories during that meal last night. If you did, come see me. Instead, what's happening is a shift of water weight. Every gram of carbohydrate that we store it with 3 to 4 grams of water. But when we store fat or protein, we store it with less than 1 gram of water. So when you eat more carbs than normal, we are adding a lot of water weight. This is also the reason for such fast weight loss when you cut carbs out. You're losing a ton of water weight initially. The other thing that's helping you gain water weight after a big meal is sodium. Where sodium goes, water goes. So if you had a heavy sodium meal, the body's going to retain more water to help balance it out. That's it. You've gained water weight after a big meal. Don't feel bad. Don't go skipping meals in response. Just go back to your normal eating pattern. Drink plenty of water. Your weight's going to come back down. You're going to shed that extra water weight. It's going to be fine. So let's talk about why nutrition myths persist. Most of them happen because nutrition is so complex, and what we know about nutrition continues to evolve. For example, research from the 80s made us think that fat is bad and it causes chronic diseases. So people went for low-fat foods or fat-free foods. But newer research shows that getting the right kinds of fat and enough of them is actually really important, and that it's actually too many refined carbs that can be the bigger health risk. But the thought that fat is bad, that has not died off yet. So there are still a lot of people who are choosing fat-free items. And yes, there is a difference between fats in terms of their health benefits. But, nutrition myths persist because of poorly done studies. What might also happen is that someone will pull a fact from a study and leave out all the other information and then twist it to say something totally out of context. So what they're trying to claim actually isn't correct. Sometimes someone finds one thing that helped them, and so they then spread their idea through social media, or they write a book about it saying that it's going to work for everyone. Usually, these people are not nutrition experts. They just have an idea. This isn't always bad, but no two people are the same. What works for you may not work for someone else, and you might have to modify your strategy to meet your individual needs, especially if you have other health problems going on. And that's the bottom line, people. Make sure you're getting your nutrition information from someone with the right education and experience. Kind of riffing off of this, did you know that some nutritionists call themselves that after one class? That might just last from a short weekend to a few weeks. A registered dietitian, on the other hand, has gone through rigorous education. It includes a master's, an internship. They have to pass a national test, and we are legally required to meet specific standards of practice and get a certain amount of continuing education to maintain licenses. This means that dietitian is generally much better equipped to provide that personalized advice, especially for individuals who have medical conditions, because dietitians are trained to provide medical nutrition therapy. So when you're just scrolling your socials, just remember to double check where that nutrition information is coming from. Are they licensed to get it? Should that change how you take what they're saying? Be your own sleuth. I'm out.